energy, frequency, vibration.
What's going on, world? It's your boy FNX. Again, this is the universal frequency. It's dumb late. I told myself that I would not wait so long to get on here. And what was I doing? Nigging. And took me a little while to get on here, but I'm here, right? I'm here. I'm excited. I hope you are excited. But before we get started, let's show some love to who we are powered by. All right, all right. So last time we were here speaking with you guys, we talked about Drake and Kendrick Lamar, right? And by this point, I'm sure you've heard this a million times over. All the YouTube clicks in the world, right? That Kendrick Lamar and Drake supposedly had a little rap beef, and they were dissing each other. Even though we're still waiting for Kendrick, and Drake dropped a diss. It was sort of like a troll, but a diss using AI to emulate the voices of Tupac and Snoop Dogg. Now, I'm not going to hold you. I know why I did it. I kind of think it was funny, right? Everyone has different opinions. There are some people who don't like the fact that Tupac or Snoop's voice was played with, or not even just their voice, their likeness, right? In their image. And I can completely understand that. I just thought the way of the troll was kind of funny. But either way, Tupac's estate did not like it. So where we are, we share the screen. Y'all see that? Yeah, here we go. Okay, now this is from Time Magazine. All right, this is so, you know, maybe it's official, maybe it's not. But it says that Drake almost found himself in legal trouble after he released a Kendrick Lamar diss track, tailor-made freestyle, with an AI-generated version of Tupac Shakur's voice earlier this month. The song, which was originally released on April 19th, was scrubbed from Drake's Instagram page and from his X account. An attorney with Tupac's estate, Howard King, sent a cease and desist letter on Wednesday threatening legal action if the rapper, whose name is Aubrey Drake Graham, did not take down the track from all public platforms, King said in a statement to Billboard. The estate is deeply dismayed and disappointed by your unauthorized use of Tupac's voice and personality. Wow, I don't know why I can't read today. Now, elephant in the room, elephant in the room. I could understand why the Tupac or the Shakur estate or any of Tupac's loved ones that know him or that knew him, right, would not want his voice played with. That's like someone in your family passing away, someone dropping the track using their voice. Y'all probably won't like it either. So that makes a lot of sense. I personally think that all Drake had to do was keep a YouTube, if that's what he wanted to do, right? But I think uploading it to digital service platforms, DSPs. Hopefully, I said the acronym correctly. Gave this window for this diss track to sort of get some legal flack. Now, does it matter? Probably not to them. Is this all potentially orchestrated behind the scenes? And could these people be buddy distracting us from other things that are going on? That's kind of what I think. But again, I don't really know. What I do know though is that this AI conversation is really, really interesting because anyone's voice and likeness can be emulated. Not that it's perfect, right? Even though it was interesting to hear Drake's cadence and Snoop's voice. I prefer the actual Snoop though. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. Now that he's opened this door, right? It's just interesting to how this could be used. Now, let's be clear. Hip hop is supposed to stand on bars. It's supposed to stand on bars, right? That's what I believe. Anyway, I'm old school, so especially when it comes to engagement, right? And so-called rap beefs or battles. Even though I don't think any of these scenarios are situations where there are actual problems. I will hope not. It's just music. Oh, y'all rich, but maybe it is the case. But when it comes to keeping it on record, rappers sparring their lyrical ability. Those are things that I like from the culture. I'm pretty sure the culture appreciates. Um, but with the introduction of social media, it seems like there is more things outside of just the pen and the pad that are being brought to the forefront. Rappers posting memes, funny pictures, I guess, even though I know 50 does post some interesting memes, they're kind of funny. But I don't think he's doing it as as a rapper dissing a rapper. I just think it's him being him. But I have seen scenarios where rappers are supposedly dissing each other and they're putting up pictures. I think that's a little weird, right? Especially if it's about bars, but it is what it is. Um, I do think though, when we think about how people engage today, there is a component of introducing something new to the battle sphere. Like, okay, I'll give you an example. Pusha T and Drake, right? Um, that Pusha T battle where he brought up potentially Drake having a son is, I mean, that potentially could be a haymaker. Not to say that the bar itself was a haymaker. And I just don't feel like going to replay it back. But the fact that new information was being introduced and it necessarily wasn't about the bars, it was about the type of content and how shocking that was in that battle. And obviously, if it's used correctly, of course, anything can be lyrical. So, I think th- that may be just something new to the culture now with the introduction of technology, because there was some points where you just had to be there to witness some of this shit take place. And nowadays, everyone got a phone, everyone got a camera. People can emulate your voice, through a filter in Pro Tools or whatever. So I don't know, yo. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I think at this point, um, people are waiting for Kendrick Lamar to respond, and I don't know if he has yet, and maybe he will, maybe he won't. Again, I kind of think that behind the scenes, Drake and Kendrick Lamar are shooting dice, laughing at people, and wasting their time with this, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Anyway, yeah. So for any of y'all that thinking of like want to borrow someone's voice, just there's repercussions to it. And let's be real, not everyone's like that. Some people may be highly offended by you using a loved one's voice. Now, obviously, I'm pretty sure people like Drake and Kendrick Lamar have money and security guards and all these things that separate them from friction. I would assume. Again, I don't know, right? But I don't know. I wonder how people feel about that. I've seen some fans. I've seen some comments online of some people being disappointed about it. I just thought it was a troll, and I won't be surprised if this scenario keeps going. Drake has other things he's going to troll. It just seems like he's that type of person. But anyway, I don't know these niggas. So, yeah, man. Part of me, I ain't gonna hold you. Part of me was like, yo, I could do a song with one of my favorite, I mean, and just write in his, write in his style and have him with me on the track. But now that I think about it, I think it'll be highly disrespectful for me, and I think that's the position. That some of the conservatives in hip hop are taking. Like, yo, it's not cool. Even though Snoop is alive, I don't know if Snoop said anything about his voice being used. But anyway, we off that. Um, so I actually wasn't going to talk about this, but now I am going to talk about this. And a couple months ago, I did an episode as hip hop demonic, right? Talking about some of the spiritual influences and the negative energies, and what some of the frequencies are promoted in the music and how it encourages violence, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? These are things I was raised on. Um, I'm not hiding it, right? But there's a clip that I came across, right? And it's Biggie's Suicidal Thoughts. And he opens up the song saying, when I die, F it, I want to go to hell, and I'm a piece, and it ain't hard to tell, YouTube, right? I'm not gonna curse. Um, and I thought to myself, I was like, yo, what, I was around when this was said, but I didn't quite digest it the way that I digest it now. Now that I have some discernment, now that I'm older, now that I'm more, I try to be more aware about things that I say, right? um, I realized that some of the energy and the music that we were listening to growing up was wildly, wildly demonic. And I just want to know, what you guys think about it. But let me bring in the Biggie joint so we can listen to it. And I think Big is a good example because he's a legend. You know what I'm saying? He's a legend. Um, he's some people say he's the best rapper ever. I think at this point, I'm still going Nas, but we'll even talk about that. But here we go. Share screen. Y'all see this? All right, that's right. So I know this whole project is fire.
Hello? Hello?
Oh boy, Puff.
Oh, shit, man. The fuck time is it, man? Oh, goddamn. Nigga, do you know what time it is? Oh, shit. What the fuck's going on? You alright? Nigga, what the fuck is wrong with you?
When I die, fuck it, I wanna go to hell. Cause I'm a piece of shit, it ain't hard to fucking tell. It don't make sense going to heaven with the goody goodies dressed in white. I like black Timbs and black hoodies. Not a problem.
Yo, right there. He says it. Don't make sense going to heaven with the goody goodies. Now, listen. Could have Big just gotten real high and said some crazy shit? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. There's people that knew him. Obviously, I'm not one of those people. Maybe they can attest to a state of mind when he wrote that. But when I was whatever age I was listening to Big, I don't, I, you know, I don't even think I paid that line any attention. But as you grow and you discern, you realize that all words have power. All words have meaning. You know what I'm saying? What type of messaging was that? Right? What type of messaging was that? And look, listen, you go through my music catalog, there is pretty sure a million things you've been like, yo, bro, why did you say that? Right. And I think for the artist in me, you know, when I was thinking about how I wanted to prove my point, albeit in a hyperbolic fashion, you know, I'm I necessarily wasn't thinking around how it was sounding. I was just saying some crazy shit, right? And so, could that be the same methodology that potentially Big was thinking, or was he real literal in what he wanted to do and where he wanted to go? Right now, he ain't the only one. Hold on, man. Hold on.
They have me on some real strict shit. No sleeping all day, no getting my dick licked. Hanging with the goody goodies, lounging in paradise. Fuck that shit. I wanna tote guns and shoot dice.
He said, I want to tote guns and shoot dice. Yeah, this whole project is raw, y'all. But again, man, I just feel like the messaging. Is wild. As I sit here, as a grown man, right, as a father, understanding how music and frequencies, right, have impact on just people's perception. I'm thinking like, yo, what was we on, bro? And it's not just Big. It's not just Big. I'm not here to just slander Big. This is a hip hop thing, bro. Hold on. Let me do this. Now this track Yo, shout out to Big L. Rest in peace, yo. Rest in peace. Another great that was lost way too early. This track is called The Devil's Son. And L's getting to it, yo. Was it The Lifestyles of the Rich and Dangerous? Yeah. Here we go.
Showbiz, man. I had this bugged out dream last night that I was the devil's son, B. I was doing some ill shit.
When I was 12, I went to help for snuffing Jesus. When I was 12, I went to help for
Y'all hear that?
Jesus. I'm waving automatic guns.
We're gonna talk about that one too.
When I was 12, I went to help for snuffing Jesus. When I was 12, I went to help for snuffing Jesus. When I was 12, I went to help for snuffing Jesus. I'm waving automatic guns and none.
L's the rebel, on a higher level, go get the shovel. Cause I'm the only son of the motherfucking devil. It's a fact, I'm living foul. Black nigga should've known I was sick from the shit I did a while back. Cause being bad, I couldn't stop when
You heard he said who he's the son of. He said it.
I was in preschool. I beat a kid to death with a wooden block. Faggot niggas, I was backslapping. I realized that every time I got mad, that something bad happened. A nigga hit me with a can of beer. Then he ran in fear. Better they found him hanging from a chandelier. Enemies, I be bucking quick. My moms know who I am, cause she know who she was fucking with. On my scalp for 666. No tricks when I catch bits. My mom picks up the crucifix. And I kill chumps for the cheapest price. I'm rolling with Satan, not Jesus Christ. Enemy.
Again, you heard what he said. You heard what he said. And it's like, yo, are these things hyperboles? Or are these things that people believe? You know what I'm saying? I'm asking you. I'm not passing judgment. I'm just saying, as someone who's been a spitter, and it probably says some things he probably didn't know what he was saying at the time. You know, I think we all deserve room for growth and discernment and to learn and obviously repent. But he's saying it right here. You know what I mean?
I got several guns. Big L straight from hell. The motherfucking devil's son.
When I was 12, I went to help for snuffing Jesus. When I was 12, I went to help for snuffing Jesus. When I was 12, I went to help for snuffing Jesus. I'm waving automatic guns and none.
It's Big L and I'm all about taking funds. I'm a stone villain, known for killing and raping nuns. Hey yo, I even kill handicapped and crippled bitches. Look at my scalp real close and you'll see 666. There's no doubt I'm all about $1. I just signed a lifetime contract with the funeral parlor. This kid Joe owe me.
Yo, Big L was wilding on this, yo. He was bugging. He was bugging, yo. He was bugging. You know, and like,
Yo, I didn't take his life instead. I tied him up and made him watch me rape his wife. One nigga cold tried to diss me, and that shit is risky. The nigga took a swung, but he missed me. So I popped off, now the jump's knocked off. I spit in his motherfucking face and then bopped off. Once a hottie shot me with a shotty, I died, but then I came back to life in another body. The way I'm living is dead wrong. I'm a devil from hell without the tail or the red horns. Killing is fun.
yo, again. So for me, right, I'll just be real transparent. I grew up, you know what I'm saying, in this type of hip hop. I grew up in 90s hip hop. I got introduced to hip hop, you know, via boot camp clicks, Smith and Wesson, Helter Skelter, right? You know, we got it in Mob Deep, you know what I'm saying? Well, Wu-Tang Forever, you know, and there was, you know, excuse me, and there was always these times where rappers would say things in efforts to make a point, right, that probably are borderline blaspheming, borderline devil worship, or forget borderline, maybe they are, right? And you just don't have the tools or the words to identify and rebuke it or understand it. But again, you know, as I sit here, you know what I'm saying, and the elder statesman that I am, I'm just shocked. I'm like, yo, who's really on that? And again, for any of you that have listened to OFNX, don't hop in here, but like, yo, well, this is what you said. Listen, I'm saying that's the part of it. That's the culture. I feel like there's a culture of, you know, whether it's blaspheming or whether it's, which is not right, whether it's just saying crazy things without realizing how you may curse yourself or offend God or both, or put out negative energy into other people you may not be aware. I mean, a lot of these artists, when they was making this music, you know, you got to think about it. A lot of them were in their 20s. I'm pretty sure Big L died before before he was 30. You know, Tupac and Biggie died, you know, in their mid-20s. So it's not like, you know, when I was that age, I exactly knew everything I was saying. I just knew I was saying shit. You know what I'm saying? So, as I say that several times over. And yo, you heard yeah, again, the sample, Nas a large pro live at the barbecue, bro. I gotta add that. And now listen, Nas is my favorite rapper. So on one level, you know, um, I love everything Nas does, but that's from the worldly lens, right? But then when you start to get the understanding of, you know, what the truth in the way is, you realize that you can't love everything in the world, and there may be some things, right, that you love near and dear that you have to separate yourself from or go from in order to get, you know, what God has for you, right? So with that being said, you know, Nas, man, yeah, this is how Nas burst on the scene too, and I'm not even gonna front. Shit is dope. Let's get it. Just like a rifle.
I went to hell for stuffing Jesus. But you throw up with a straight force. I was trapped in the case. And got out by the main source. Swimming and women like a lifeguard. Put on a bulletproof nigga, I strike hard. Kidnap the president's wife without a plan. And hanging niggas like the Ku Klux Klan. I know Mike's giving sideways over. Hey yo, stepping at me, you'd rather step to Jehovah. Slamming the seas on some man. Cause verbally, I'm iller than an AIDS patient. I will swift and uplift your mind. Shoot to death when I rip and rhyme. Hey yo, rapping sniper. Hey yo, speaking real. Hey yo, folks react like Steven Spielberg. Poetry attack.
All right. I probably should have played that one before I did the Big L joint. I mean, it's just there's so many different references to hell or blaspheming or, you know, opposing God at some level in hip hop. You know, on Can't Out Rap Me, I said, so I went to hell for snuffing Jesus. You could tell I listened to Nas. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, I was just saying it to show you that I was listening to Nas, right? But then, as I started to realize what I was saying, I was like, wow, I've now transgressed. You know, I had to repent for it. You know what I mean? Pray that I receive mercy and favor for the things that I was indoctrinated into via my elders. Now, this is not to pick one Nas line out, you know, and make a massive judgment about who he is as a person or who he was. And I'm not saying that. I'm just giving you examples throughout the culture, references of highly reputable, well-respected lyricists, legends in the game, and it was cool for them, you know, to blaspheme and disrespect God. And and as someone who was indoctrinated and brainwashed to it, I'm guilty as well. So before, you know, um before, you know, you could get to type and understand that this is not me pointing a finger. This is something that I've had to learn about our culture and things that I've had to discern when I think about what I expose, you know, my children to in music. You know, I was 7 or 8 years old, you know, listening to urban 90s hip hop. You know what I'm saying? With them saying shit like this. Did that have an effect on people? Did it have an effect on me? Right? Music is frequencies, bro. Frequencies have impact on people. They know this. The people that make these music, that make this music, the engineers, they understand frequencies. So I don't think any of this is a coincidence. You know, and if I had the chance to speak to Nas, that's probably one of the things I'll ask him. I'll be like, "Yo, bro, you know, what was that about, right?" And he could say the same thing. Yo, you know, back then that's what it was. Now that I'm older, it's different. He could say that. He can not care. I can't assume to know anything about these people that I've never met before. But what I will say is now that we're older, now that we have more authority, we have to be even more careful about the messages we let slip through. Because, and look, I even get into like Eminem and D12, bro. Bizarre was a wild boy. I mean, even Pun had a verse talking about rolling weed with ganja, rolling weed with Bible paper. Excuse me. Right. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Of, I guess, what would either be offending God, blaspheming, humanizing God, which is a form of blasphemy, I believe. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Um, like if the culture is built on principles of offending God, how good could it be? That's what I'm asking. Genuinely. And I'm not saying, like, again, I absolutely love hip hop, but even I had to get to a point where I had to realize that some of the shit I can't listen to no more. It just doesn't serve me its purpose. You grow from things. There was a point in time, and I've said this before, where me, my mother, and my sister had a brief stay in the shelter, and I was listening to Chino Excel Here to Save You All, which is crazy because I ended up meeting to do a song with Chino. Helter Skelter, Nocturnal, classic recipe, Sean Price, classic. Razzcast, Solo Nice, and Outcast, ATLians. First off, I think all four of those records are classic, right? But do I even at that point in time when I had these CDs and I was leaning so heavily into listening to them to escape the things I was going through, did I even understand what was being said to me? As a youth, did I digest it? At some level, right? When an artist has a belief and they infuse that into their work, the person that digests that art is also being engaged with that artist's belief. I do believe that. Maybe you feel differently, and you can think I'm diving too deep into the music, but I think all words have impact. I think all words have meaning. The word tells us we'll be judged by everything that we say, every word that we utter, right? So if that is the case, there's going to be a lot of us who've engaged in this culture that will have to be accountable for some of the things we put out there. Look, I got a song called God, right? And look, at the time when I dropped it, I was referencing Dragon Ball Z God of Destruction, right? Jiren and them. I'm a huge manga fan, right? So when I was saying I'm a Geo, in my mind, right? It wasn't about me putting myself where God was. It was just a parallel I was making into, what I really liked about that anime. I ain't gonna hold you. But one, does God view it that way? He may not. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that made me fearful, to be real with you. But two, just because I intended it that way, is that how it was received? You know what I'm saying? And you can't put toothpaste back in the tube. So those are my thoughts, yo. Those are my thoughts. I mean, the Most High does give us opportunity to repent, to learn, and grow, right? And that comes with a change of behavior. So I've tried to be more conscious of what I say and how I put things together. And to be real with you, that's part of the reason why I've kind of taken a break from doing some of this music stuff. I just had to get my square together. But some of these was wilding, bro. Was wilding. And if that's something that's heavy in our culture, that has to be resolved. It's something you have to protect your children from. We can't no longer idly just play these things for our kids, I think it doesn't mean anything. There's probably a reason, why some of us experience the things we experience because of the programming we received. And television programs, and it's not music, but a television program is a program for a reason. They say it. Programs have an agenda. Music plays a role in that agenda for programming. Please, please don't mistake that. So again, I would have to ask you, what role does examples of the music I just played for you play in programming? Did that lower some people's senses to make them commit crime, to make them damn themselves? When we hear correlations being drawn between, violent urban music and incarceration rates, is it really that far fetched? And that's just on, the physical level. I'm talking spiritually. That's real. I believe so. If you believe so, let me know how you feel. And yeah, man, I mean, and the crazy part is, these are the spitters. If someone said, yo, who's your top 5? And they said, yo, I got Big L, Nas, and Biggie in there. What are you going to say? You can't really, argue with the presence on the culture. Honestly, bro, it's one of the things where I've had to figure out what's most important. I'm not going to hold you. I'm coming from the CD era. You know what I'm saying? I got like CD booklets. I still remember the Big Pun Capital Punishment when he was holding the Spanish Statue of Liberty. You know what I mean? Like, I got CDs, bro. But the more we learn about some of the messaging and this stuff, it's just like, yo, I don't know how much I want to engage it. And it's funny. I know people that were introduced into hip hop, or like, I'll give you an example. So like, my uncle and his friends were really into like 90s grimy urban hip hop. Now, they listening to Migos and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, like, where did that come from? Well, listen, they're in a different space. They're not teenagers anymore doing teenage things. They're men doing men things. So, the music that they utilize is a little bit different. But again, I still gotta ask, where is all this coming from, man? Where is all this leading? It's funny. Rise of the Phoenix, right? Rise of the Phoenix. fnxmusic.bandcamp.com. Actually, let me just pull that up. Yeah. Yo, I'm back. I don't know how I did that. All right, my bad. Share screen. So when I dropped this project, right, I remember me talking to people about it. I remember I was talking to my cousin about it. He was just like, yo, yeah, you a Christian rapper? I'm like, what? Right? And listen, first off, I don't even like that term. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that term comes with a lot. I'm just someone that's trying to get closer to God, and I struggle along the way, as like, I imagine you may do. But I'm honest in my pursuit, and trying to be better, right? But secondly, it wasn't even, it's not even that type of project. I mean, this project, I talk about some worldly things. I talk about God a lot. I told you God, I was wilding on there. Knowledge of God, me and Cambato was wilding on there, right? But it wasn't necessarily, just a project about God. It was a project that that would give you glimpses of things I was seeing and going through, and I incorporated God in it. You know what I mean? And that's not what it was all about. That was just a huge component of it, which is a little bit different gears to some of my earlier music. Anyway, I say that to say this. We opened the project with a prayer. Um, I was told then that some people may not understand it. Okay, well, necessarily ain't for you to understand. And then I had someone review it for me, and they were just like, yeah, it's dope, but it's not for us. We're not into the religious rap. I'm like, just like, yo, religious rap. Like, what do you, like? It's bars out here, bro. Bars out here. I mean, follow my lead. Yeah, Lion of Judah, Exodus. Okay, I'll get it. But God, Ebony Blade, brand new. I mean, shout out to Flow Magnifico. I got a Spanish crossover on there. I mean, I don't know. First off, if that's what it is, that's what it is. I'm not going to rebuke it, but it's just there was, in my mind, in order for me to call someone a Christian artist or present a work as Christian, you have to be teaching the gospel, teaching the word, like from the source. You know what I'm saying? That's not what was taking place here. I was just giving you examples of things that I was seeing and um, giving you a perspective. But I don't look at it as, hey, go here and listen to this. If you want to learn this, this is what it should be. I never thought about it like that. But one of my boys had said to me, he was just like, yo, sometimes when you bring up these things, it troubles people's demons. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't even realize that. Nor do I care, you know. But it's just interesting. I don't know, man. In this journey of this hip hop shit, I've gone through different phases. I've gone through different moods. I've gone through, saying the craziest shit to me just wanting to experiment, to figuring out, what I want to do or how I want to do it. I remember when we was making Who Am I? Kenny Cash comes in. Shout out to Kenny Cash. Kenny Cash is like, FNX, we're gonna need you to do something besides this boom bap. We want you to switch it up a little bit. Now, Kenny Cash is an amazing producer, and we went on to make Rockstar, which is I actually think a really well put together track. It just wasn't me. It just wasn't me. And no, I'm not gonna play it. Y'all gotta go look for it. I don't like that song, but actually no, I love me and Kenny's synergy. I actually got to get Kenny Cash on the show for sure, so we could talk about some of the music that he's been working on. But yeah, man, this has been a journey, bro. This has been a journey, and it's like 2:00 in the morning. I'm over here rambling. I got things to do in the morning, but I had to get on here and just speak my case. This hip hop shit is crazy. Some of our elders, some of our forefathers have preached and peddled death to our children, to us, to me. And before I knew that, before a lot of us knew that, we regurgitated those same things. So at some point, we got to break the cycle. If the cycle can be broken, On one hand, I feel like, this hip hop or music in general could just be one of Satan's devices, right? But then another hand, I'm like, the Most High creator of all things, is the source of true creation, right? So, of course, through him, right, we can create in a manner that's compliant. I don't know. This is just what I'm going through. Maybe I agree, maybe you don't. I don't know. This is where we learn to pray for discernment. But anyway, this is where I'm at. This is the universal frequency. It's dumb late. I'm going to bed. There's things to do tomorrow. I want to thank y'all for tuning in.
Energy, frequency, vibration. Energy, frequency, vibration. Energy, frequency, vibration. Go and look at destiny now. Why are you waiting? Energy, frequency, vibe.